I'm here with Dweynie, Esther, Paul, who is running for surrogate court judge. Judge, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then when you've done that, can you tell us what a surrogate court judge does?
Good questions, good questions. Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful for this opportunity that you afforded to me to be here before everyone and tell you a little bit about myself, about Surrogates Court, and why I'm running. So again, my name is Judge Dweynie Esther Paul. I'm a candidate for Kings County Surrogate Court, and right now, I'm a Kings County Civil Court judge. I was elected in 2015. I live right here in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I'm actually a deacon at my church, so I have to bring greetings on behalf of my church, Mount Lebanon Baptist Church, where my reverend is Pastor Sean J. Lee. And so in describing myself, I would say I'm a community servant, a public servant. I was elected in 2015, but actually my journey to becoming a judge started very many years ago. My first exposure to the court system actually was when I was 9 years old. I had an older brother, and he got in an accident. He went on a youth trip, and he passed away. And I watched my parents, who are Caribbean immigrants from Haiti, really struggle to find justice for his life. And at the same time, try to find a way to navigate family court as they tried to figure out the best way to raise me. So I learned very young how important it was to have an advocate in the courtroom, someone who would speak on my behalf. And I understood what it meant to have a judge who would understand my experience of life, my family's experience, my community, if that judge was going to make the right decision over our lives. And so I started my pursuit and my first interest in the justice system around that age. I went off to graduate from SUNY Stony Brook. I have a degree in political science and social science with a minor in child and family studies. I went off to law school, George Washington University, and I never forgot what it meant for my parents not to have access to justice, resources, and information. And so I was always active putting programs and workshops together. I sat on Community Board 3 in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I was the Director of Community Service for the Metropolitan Black Bar Association, active in my church. And I put programs together like the annual Community Law Day, resources where attorneys came out and gave free legal workshops and information to the community. And those are the things that help to bridge the gap, truly, between the courts and the community. And now I'm a candidate for Surrogates Court.
Okay. Before you go there, you're already a judge in the civil court. I think a lot of our listeners want to know, what does a surrogate judge, court judge, do?
Very important question. And I will tell you that part of this campaign has been educating the community first on what Surrogates Court is, because oftentimes we've never heard about it. We're familiar with criminal court, family court. Surrogates Court is a place we go when our loved ones pass away, whether they had a will or they did not. And we make sure that all of their assets, everything that they worked hard for, gets from one generation to the next. We also do guardianships of mentally disabled adults, guardianships of minors, and adoptions. And this court has always been instrumental to the community, but now more so than ever, because we are talking about estate planning, wills, trusts, things that oftentimes our communities don't engage in. But then the pandemic hit, and it struck communities of color in disproportionate numbers. And so we really didn't have a plan an opportunity to even say goodbye to our loved ones, much less plan for death. And Surrogates Court is a place oftentimes where our wealth is lost. And some will say stolen. Because when those who want to seek to prey on the community, they go different places. You'll go to Supreme Court, because in Supreme Court, that's where the foreclosure cases are. So you can identify the homes that are in trouble and try to take advantage of the community. Our guardianship cases are in Supreme Court. So someone who's aging may have property and assets. Someone who wants to take advantage of the community, they go there, and they go to Surrogates Court. Because the information in Surrogates Court is public. So you can identify who passed away, what assets they owned, and there's something called an heirs locator. So you can identify who the family members are. You know, in our communities, there are times that we struggle with deed theft, third-party transfer, tax and water lien, foreclosure. So really and truly, and because we don't tend to plan for death. We don't do estate planning. We don't talk to our loved ones about where our important papers are. Do we have a life insurance? Where do we bank? These are the things that are instrumental to preserving our wealth and our legacy. But now this pandemic, struck us so suddenly that the community is truly at the doorsteps of Surrogate's Court and in need of the services that it provides in transferring and transitioning families from one generation to the next. So we're really talking about intergenerational wealth transfer.
So we're attempting to educate our folk about every single election. And I think you made a great case of why this is a very important election year, but also the surrogate court judge is extremely important. Here's what I want you to do. That camera right there is all yours. Would you tell the St. Paul nation why you should be a surrogate court judge for the County of Kings?
So it is my hope first that you lift me up in prayer. I'm asking for your support as the next Kings County Surrogate Court judge because I am a candidate who will put the community first. I have a record of putting the community first. My activism and creating programs and workshops that really and truly created real access to justice. I continued that work even as a sitting judge. I've worked with the Office of Justice Initiative and the administrative board that focused on creating innovative ways to improve the court system for the community. Surrogate's Court is instrumental at this time. We suffer oftentimes in our community losing access to our wealth, our homes. If we do not focus in on electing a surrogate court judge that will put the community first, we will find Brooklyn changing over the next 14 years because this term is a 14-year term. It's a countywide election, so no matter where you live in Brooklyn, you will find my name on the ballot. Judge Paul for surrogate. I'm asking for your support on Election Day because I will be the people's surrogate. I'm grateful to have the support of so many labor unions, UFT, TWU, DC 37, because these are our heroes, our frontline workers, our essential workers who kept New York City moving when we were suffering through the pandemic. I know who I'm fighting for in Surrogate's Court. My role will be to preserve intergenerational wealth. My role will be to protect those who are most vulnerable and in need of competent and caring guardians. And I will unify our families, strengthen our families through adoption proceedings. I'm hoping for your prayers first and your support on Election Day.
Best of luck, Judge Paul. Thank you for educating us. We needed to hear all of that. And again, best of luck in this election.
Thank you so much.
St. Paul Nation, I can't tell you who to vote for, but I'll tell you vote like your life depends on it because it does. This is Pastor Brawley. Blessings.